Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Nye. And good morning everyone. Right now in Isle Deckney, it's 8:16 a.m. on Wednesday, April 15th, 2020. Is there really no news for me to share today? Guess so. But give yourselves a pat on the shoulder, folks. You've made it halfway through the week. Let's finish strong. Well then, Isabel signing off. It's a great way to start the day. Okay, so we did upgrade our house yesterday. Let's go ahead and take a look. Ooh, that's big. That is a big house. So we got KK Jongara from our order. Happy Home Academy is giving me a new gift. Fun to create a space based on your hobbies where you're surrounded by things you love. Okay. And Melba also gave me something, or Savannah gave me something for upgrading my house. They say it takes hands to build a house, but only hearts can make it a home. You have a good heart, you deserve to have a happy and spacious home. I hope this gift can have a place in it somewhere. That's really cute. I like that. Our house is getting kind of large. Okay, let's take a look. I did the iron and stone fence yesterday. I forgot to learn that DIY. Okay, so here is KK Jongara. The HHA gave me a punching bag, and Sylvana gave me an exercise bike. So they really want me to make a gym up there. Okay, let's take a look, see what this looks like. I also need to see what my, Okay, so there's the fence right there. Okay. And we have 800 spaces. Wow. That just doubled the amount of space I have available in my house. Let's go ahead and register Jongara. I'm already a fan. Okay, let's see how much space it actually gives us. Well, what size is this room? Wow, this is actually an extremely sizable room. I'm actually a little bit amazed. We picked up the grasshopper head model yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and put it out just because I've been told it's terrifying. And you know what? They're not wrong. Holy crap, that's ugly. What Nook Miles did we get? We got something. Ooh. Dream house, okay. So we have upgraded our house 6 times. Second floor landlord. There's one more upgrade, apparently. Which is absolutely fine by me. Okay, let's go investigate our island for the day and see kind of what's up. I'm a fan of that song. That song's kind of awesome. So I'm curious what you guys do when it comes to credit. Credit cards being the main topic of conversation today, but obviously things like loans, things like just bank account information. Oh, hey, Sable's here today. Or Label, sorry. Oh, we meet again. You know, there's still so much to learn about design here in Isle Deckney. In fact, I wonder if maybe you might help me with a little style exercise. It goes like this. I'll call it a specific fashion theme. You can change into an outfit that matches that theme. You'll have to model it for me, of course, but I'll give you a gift for your trouble. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, show me a work outfit. Something professional, like a suit. The clothes a chef or a doctor would wear works too. Give you some work clothing so you have an idea of the look I'm going for. So, supposedly, if you just wear what she gives you... so, she gave me a fisher hemmed. All I have to do is keep this piece in mind as you put an outfit together. Okay. So, if you just wear the outfit she gave you, it's one thing. But, let's see what this is. Fisher hemmed. Huh. Okay, well, let's go see what outfit options I have here. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what you guys do for, when it comes to credit. Now, those of you who are, you know, naturally old enough to actually, care about credit, if you're a younger viewer, if you don't care about money at all, or if if it's bank account and nothing else, that doesn't mean that, you shouldn't be checking to see what kind of credit is available to you, or also kind of how you, I guess, set up things in your, for bank accounts, just like that, or how you save money, piggy bank style. I mean, there's so many ways you can still save money no matter how young you are. And the older I get, the more I realize that it is actually really important to have a good plan available for how you intend to save money, spend money, and so on. When I was much younger, so when I was, a kid, for me, saving money wasn't a particularly big deal. We had money. Now, keep in mind, this is when I was like 13, 14, or younger than that. My dad was a doctor, and because he was a doctor, he, we essentially had money available to us kind of at all times. His job was extremely lucrative, as most doctors are. I'm going to go ahead and put clothes away, because most of these clothes I just had in here, because we had no space in the, we didn't actually have space here, but as you can see, I have plenty of storage. So let's decide. So we're supposed to be getting a work outfit going. Now, I know that somewhere I had a doctor's coat. Problem is, I have clothing freaking everywhere right now. So let's go see if we can figure out where that doctor's coat went. I don't think we ended up giving it to someone. Ah, see? There it is. Let's go ahead and file this stuff away. We don't need to do this anymore now that we actually have space. I am curious how much space we're going to get when we get the next upgrade. I have been given a hint as to what the next upgrade is, and the hint absolutely matches what I know of, Animal Crossing in the first place from previous games. Supposedly, our next upgrade, our last upgrade, if the Nook Miles are an indication, our last upgrade is going to be a basement. So I'm kind of curious if we're going to have like 1,000 spaces available to us, or if it's going to be 1,600. So when I was younger, we had money. Money wasn't really a big issue. Now, that was not to say that I had kind of whatever I wanted or anything like that. But, my family was never wanting for anything. It's a little bit different for me as an actual kid, because we didn't do... what's the word for allowance in my family. I was just expected to kind of do whatever my family wanted, and then occasionally I would get something out of it. But allowance as a concept just kind of didn't exist. So whenever so it was more like occasionally I would be able to say, yes, I want this thing. I'd be able to pick out a video game or something like that, but I never really had money. So for a very long time, and as I was growing up, I didn't really have a good concept of money or of what a dollar was worth. If you do chores, but you don't do chores for, oh, I have something behind this that I need to grab. There we go. If you do just chores and stuff like that, but you're not doing chores for, money, you don't get that value of a dollar, idea. And that's kind of a tremendous problem, especially if you're growing up, because you really need to understand how much a dollar's worth to know how to not waste that money. Or at least that's kind of the way I feel. Okay, this is a little bit... I like this. It's a little bit too energetic. Let's go ahead and pick something a little bit quieter. We're just going to go back to forest life. So, I think I had a lot of trouble really understanding what money... Like, what the point of money was. Do I still have a chef's hat? I do. Okay. Let's go with this. I have to get rid of some of these duplicates, but that's fine. I don't think denim pants. Do we have, like, slacks? Yeah. And then... shoes-wise, I think business shoes with, bobby socks. Darn it. I pressed the wrong button. It wasn't until I got older and things started going terribly wrong for my family that I really started learning what money actually meant. originally when my dad died, my family got a bunch of money out of it, life insurance, things like that. And that, as much as that sucked, as much as it wasn't fun to know that, hey, we have money because my dad, has shuffled the mortal coil, we had money, and that money was going to pay for, everything, for basically the rest of, the rest of my mom's life at the very least. It was supposed to pay for college for the kids. It was supposed to pay for rent, stuff like that, and she could gradually kind of piece together life again. And, that sounds all nice and good and everything like that, but you gotta understand, primary breadwinner dies, and especially in such a sudden way, which is what happened with my dad. My dad it was not a natural death, it was suicide, so it was one of those, this came out of nowhere. It takes a while to rebuild your life anyways, so this was just going to be a thing. Not a nice thing necessarily, but a thing. Sure, take a look at my chef's outfit. Let's see it then. I see. Wonderful, that's it exactly. Your combination of clothing radiates that perfect work look. There's just so much I can learn from your sense of style. Thank you. I'm going to send a thank you gift to your home. Remember to use tailor's tickets at the tailor shop, okay? And please take this too. I made it with my own 2 paws. What should you give me today? A shirt. It's another design for my label, a label knit shirt. I hope you like the style. This is a new design I just finished. I'm planning to have it sold at the tailor shop. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Thank you for being so very helpful. Cool. So, things were different, but at the time, again, money was just kind of taken care of for my family. And so, again, we end up hitting this, this kind of space, this kind of position where money is still, money is an object. We have to be a little bit closer about money and a little bit, play things closer to the chest. But it very much, let me look for duplicates in my house so we can continue to give stuff away. But even though, money was important, and money was not unlimited, or at least it wasn't as, available as it was once upon a time, for me as a kid, my dad died at 12, 13 years old, something like that. So for me as a kid, money was still very much this thing that was just available. So I still didn't really understand what money was. It wasn't until a couple of years later when the stock market crashed that stuff really began to cement for me what money actually meant. And this was because the way that my family had set this up, or the way that the, financial advisor that was helping my family set this up, was that all of the money that came from my dad's death was shoved, for now, because we have so much space, I'm just going to do exact duplicates is what we're going to give away. And then we'll talk about, like, these other duplicates down the line. I just want to make sure we're not holding on to stuff that are exact duplicates at the moment. And I know I saw a couple when we were looking through stuff a little bit earlier. But the way they kind of set things up for my family was that all of this money that came from my dad's death was, essentially put into the stock market. That was the idea. Okay, I know that this was a duplicate. So it was put straight into the stock market, and the idea was that the interest off this money would be what Mom would live on, effectively for the rest of her life, and would pay for stuff. And we would eventually potentially take money out of the stock market to pay for, again, college tuitions and things of that nature, and that, absolutely fine. That wouldn't be a problem. But what ended up happening is that when the stock market crashed, that wasn't available to us anymore. We could not do that because all of that money that we had just suddenly vanished as if it never existed in the first place. We, tried for forever to try to deal with it, because what ended up happening is that as time went on, instead of the financial advisor telling us, hey, the stock markets are crashing, and you're not going to get as much money out of your stocks as you are expecting, you should calm down, spend less, minimize how much you're doing because I can't give you as much. Instead, he started putting money into junk bonds and stuff like that. And junk bonds, you know, they're not good things to work with, and so more and more of our money just kind of went away until eventually it didn't exist anymore. There was a while where we were pursuing potentially legal action over this, and then it turns out that, you know, that legal action doesn't exist for this sort of thing. You know, you can't really blame him because you gave him power of attorney, and that's about it. You told him, use your best guess. He did, and his best guess was bad, and that's about it. So, money kind of went away. Around the same time as this was happening, that's when I really started working. Now, keep in mind is that at the time I was still, living in family as an underaged person, so I wasn't really paying for rent or anything like that. But it ended up being very much a thing where anything that I wanted to do, I had to pay for. And, you know, that's not a big deal, right? That's something that most kids do anyways. But as a person who, you know, at the time, I had never, you know, can I guess what I'm doing? I'm sitting. Okay. Can I get you up so we can talk? No? Okay, I'll talk to you later then. Let's see. She's not home. I do see a sheep. Ciao. I have a thing for you. Yes, for real. You can have some triangle shades. Is this really some triangle shades? Let's see what the world looks like through these. Oh yeah, the color's exquisite. Cool. So the reason I bring this up is that so at the time I had to learn how much work on my part it would take to make $1. And when I say value of $1, that's really what I mean, at least from my end, is that you understand how much effort it takes on your part to earn that $1. Now, my first job that I ever had was working as, I almost want to say chef, but that's not really what I was. I worked for a family fun center, so think something to the tune of like a Chuck E. Cheese, or a more family-friendly Dave & Buster's, something like that. And I was in their buffet area, and their buffet was specifically pizza. So I helped cook that pizza, things like that. So that was my first job, and that got me my first real job, really. And that got me a lot of experience in what it means to actually work, to, you know, be yelled at by customers, to have managers who, you know, don't really care for you all that much. They're just trying to kind of milk you for every bit of work that you can do, including, you know, I was 16 at the time, and in Colorado where I lived, there are laws that say that if the worker, namely me, is underage, which I was, if you're under 18, you cannot work past midnight, because that's actually a curfew for those kids. I routinely had to work past midnight, and that's a problem if you're in school. Now, I wasn't in school for other reasons, but if you're in school, like, you're working past midnight, you got to get up at, what, 6, 7 a.m. to go to school. You know, you're lacking sleep, but they did it anyways. But I got the idea that, you know, an hour's worth of work gets me $8 or $9. So what that really means is that $8 or $9 is worth an hour of my time. So if I'm, you know, filling up my car, you know, if it takes $20 to fill up my car and gas, that means it's 3 hours of work to fill my car. You know, a video game being, let's say, $65 after tax or so, that is, you know, that's a solid 8, maybe 9 hours of work. And, you know, I was a younger kid. I wasn't working full time. So what that means is that this is not just 8 or 9 hours of work, this is several days worth of work too. So all of a sudden the dollar became much more important around that time. Well, as, you know, my family's money started dropping, and as things started getting more and more dire, my mom started having to make a lot of decisions, and some of the decisions she made was to declare bankruptcy, because there was no money. She didn't have a job yet. She learned she was going to have one, and she started making plans to get a job and to kind of make solutions in this direction. But that wasn't available, so she had to declare bankruptcy. And all of a sudden, I had to start learning exactly what bankruptcy means. Now, I was getting towards 17, 18, 19. But bankruptcy is still a very weird concept. The only time wow, apparently I didn't get my final hit on. That's kind of weird. But bankruptcy is a very weird thing for some people. Most of us, when we hear bankruptcy, all we know is Monopoly. Declare bankruptcy, you're out of the game. And so what we feel is that bankruptcy is the end of the road. It game over, right? And that's not really what bankruptcy is. One of my uncles is a bankruptcy judge, and I got to go watch and see what he does actually in court one day. And it's much more of a let's make plans to pay back your creditors. Let's figure out what we need to do. Let's pare down your expenses. And then, of course, your credit is wrecked for a while. So no one's going to lend you money if you're in a bankruptcy because you've shown that you cannot pay things back. Now, that may or may not be fair. I mean, in the case of my mom, that definitely wasn't fair. It wasn't that she couldn't pay back because she was, she doesn't know how to spend money, which is usually what bankruptcy means. It was something completely out of her control. But unfortunately, life isn't fair, and there you go. But that led me to having to really learn about what credit scores are and what credit means, what bankruptcy means. All of these terms that we hear on a regular basis, is something that you have to really learn and understand. A pretty Cosmos wreath. Okay. Cool. Yeah, please, give me the DIY. So it's very much one of those things that I was kind of looking, going, okay, what do I need to do to get a good credit score? I've seen what happens to my mom and and all of the struggles she's had to deal with and all the things that she had to deal with because her credit was wrecked. And I didn't want to deal with that naturally. I didn't want to have a bad credit. Oh, I need to go talk to him again, actually, see if there's anything, see if I can give him something. But I didn't want to have a bad credit score. I want to have a good credit score because obviously that's the goal. But I'd also been taught a lot of times from my mom that, don't really use a credit card. Don't put money on a credit card. You don't want to owe people money. She told me stories of people in her college that got given let's see, I don't think you're gonna want that. Let me give you a lantern, sure. But there were people in her college on her college grounds. Okay, what are you gonna give me? You're gonna be a gym tea. Okay. On our college grounds, these credit card companies would go out and they would sign up, college kids for credit cards, and those kids would start racking up dollars on those credit cards, and they would get in big trouble too because they couldn't pay it back. They thought the money was effectively free. Obviously, it's not. But that's not really how it sounds when someone is offering you a credit card. I know this myself because back when I worked for GameStop, they started up a credit card program, and I had to learn how the program works so I could describe it to people. But, credit cards, they feel like free money. They absolutely aren't. And they can definitely screw with you. But at the same time, a credit card is one of the best ways to build a credit score, so I kind of had to learn what to do there. So this ended up having me trying to learn what's your credit score supposed to be? What are you supposed to do to grow your credit score? And, how can you use these tools both appropriately and safely? That's not to say I haven't made mistakes. I was in line to get a bonus a couple of years ago. My job at the time was offering bonuses to all employees based on basically how much billable work you did. So how much work you did that you could directly bill clients for. And if you could keep a certain ratio of billable work, you'd get a bonus, because basically the more billable work you do, the more money we're actively earning from clients. So I had been, told about this system and been told exactly how much money I'd make. Everything was going well, so I started making plans for a trip to Disney World with my family. And that was all well and good until, not long before my trip, and significantly long enough after buying tickets and making hotel reservations and all the other stuff that I had to do, I got told that these bonuses were being canceled because of a buyout from not even buyout, really, a merger. But we were being merged into a larger company, and this larger company did not do bonuses for hourly employees like myself. So all of a sudden, plans that I had made just kind of vanished up in smoke. Now, I can definitely say that there was no way I could have known this would have happened. But it is definitely one of those situations where I spent money that I did not have yet with the expectation of a windfall down the line. And you really shouldn't ever do that with money. You should be a little more frugal than that. I've heard tell recently, read in an online article, that this recently happened to a bunch of employees of Gearbox Games. Gearbox, the creators of Borderlands. Previously, these guys had made a bunch of money because that company was giving out these really big bonuses to their employees based on total sales dollars of the game. Basically, of all of the total profit on the game, 60% goes to the company itself, 40% goes to the employees, which is a really cool split. And on like Borderlands 2, this became very big money, very large numbers. So these employees were planning on this, and they were making life choices based on the idea that off of Borderlands 3, the next big game, a huge hit, again, that's been in the making forever, you know, widely publicized, that they would be making a large amount of money. And it turns out that for a variety of reasons, not all of which that I actually understand, this is not actually how it ended up working out for these employees. Most of them did not get the money that they were kind of expecting to get, which naturally sucks, and it really screwed up plans for a bunch of them, and a lot of them are, of course, very upset about this. And, you know, my heart goes out to them naturally, but part of me is sitting here thinking, again, this the same thing that, I need to actually look at the stuff that we got. So, hey, neat. So naturally my heart goes out to them, but at the same time I can't help but thinking, you know, you're making major life decisions based off of money that you thought you were going to get, but that you actually didn't have. So, yes, you know, you did get screwed a little bit, but at the same time, this is a little bit on you. A brine shrimp aquarium. Interesting. Let's see what that looks like. What is a brine shrimp aquarium? Oh, it's a sea monkey aquarium. Okay. Cool. Does it do anything when you interact with it? No. Okay. You know, again, making decisions with money that you don't have is always kind of a risky proposition. You have to pay that money back. Or the money has to come from somewhere is really a better way to say that. And this applies to, you know, it applies to loans and it applies to credit cards too. Oh, well, hello there, Nye. Your home has 2 beautiful stories now. I hope you'll take this opportunity to experiment with some new styles of interior design, which brings us to the cost of your remodel. That'll be 1.2 million bells. Please make your payments using the Nookstop's ABD feature as you've done before. One other thing that I should mention, as part of the home customization services available to you, you can now order replacement siding. Roof, siding, door, and mailbox. Changing these can make you feel like your home is brand new. Speaking of your mailbox, not only can you change its design, but now you can change its location too. Just pick your mailbox up with Y and place it where you'd like. I'll make sure your mail knows where to go. Please give your new customization options a try. As always, it's nice doing business with you. Actually, let's go ahead and do a customization real quick and just kind of see what our options look like. Let's talk infrastructure. I also need to set up that new bridge, or that new incline. Sorry, we want an incline this time. Okay, so I'm really just a big fan of the stone staircases, so we're gonna go for one of those. I also need to make an adjustment to my house. And let's customize. Yep, let's do it. Okay, so roof-wise, we're gonna... Ooh. Oh, hey. We got options now. So there's a tile roof. We can look at curved shingles. Stone. Thatch. Kind of a fan of the curved shingles. Okay, what does our exteriors look like? So we can have... some chalet exteriors. Cobblestone. Stucco. I like this, I like the chalet style. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this is really neat. Let's go with the red. So we got windowed doors, gray common doors, multi-pane doors, iron grill doors, Simple doors. Basic doors. Lattice work. Ooh, I like the Zen doors a little bit. Oh, got the Imperial doors. Those look nice. Metal accents. Iron doors. Fancy doors. Rustic doors. I'm kind of a fan of the Imperial door here. Thinking either that or the Iron Grill door. Let's go with the Iron Grill door. Any other mailboxes we have available to us? Nah, okay. Let's go with that. So there's our bells. And we'll move on. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, when it comes to credit cards, loans, or anything like that, or just even making plans for the future, you never want to really spend money that you do not know that you actually have. And that sounds really obvious, but or not as much that you don't have, but that you will not have. And that sounds really obvious, but given today's day and age, we hear offers all the time for, you know, financing options and, you know, ways to get money now that you'll have later. And effectively, you're buying out of funds from your future. And that doesn't sound like necessarily a bad thing, and let's be faced, it's not necessarily a bad thing at all. I'm not gonna pretend that this is, you know, a thing that's terrible. But this ends up being a situation where it's very easy to lose track of how much money you actually have. And I've seen it. I've seen this a number of times, actually, with people who end up spending money that they don't really have, that they think they'll have, or they end up hearing these deals where, you know, hi, Melba. Here's hoping to be a good day. Oh, it'll absolutely be a good day, because I'm going to give you a thing. Let's see. Melba, you need glasses. Just like mine. Some square glasses. You really want to give that to me? Let's see what I look like in these. Adorable. I love the color. Oh, you're welcome. But you end up hearing a lot of things. You know, I end up going to, you know, to like Best Buy to make a purchase or something like that. And, you know, I get offered fairly frequently, do you want this, go ahead and try it on. How's it look? Ooh, it looks adorable. I love how I feel in this. Oh, okay, we're getting money. But I do hear fairly frequently from, you know, Best Buy or, I think there's a couple of companies that really tend to make the offers. But they'll say, hey, do you want a, you know, do you want a credit card, or do you want to sign up for our, do you want to sign up for our card? Do you want this thing? Do you want that thing? And they try to kind of entice you into this, because, you know, you get these offers of, you know, I'm trying to think like exactly how these offers tend most to come around. But you end up getting these offers that are effectively, you know, no money down, and, you know, pay it off in 6 months, and you know, you don't have to pay any interest. And that sounds great, you know? You're sitting there and like, wow, this sounds amazing. I should really take advantage of this. But you hear them a lot, and it becomes a little bit hard to realize that you've taken advantage of so many of these in the past, you know, the past week or two, just because of how many you hear. All of a sudden, you know, you're sitting here thinking, man, you know, $100, you know, $100 extra a month, that's a really hard thing for me to justify. Oh, but I could do $10 a month deals, and that's easy. It's still $100 a month, though. And I end up seeing people do that an awful lot, actually, where, you know, it's not something they can actually afford, but it feels like it is, and all of a sudden they get themselves into trouble. Ooh, got a paper lantern. Nice. And, you know, I'm not necessarily calling anybody out. I'm not saying there's anybody who is doing it wrong. You know, at the end of the day, how everybody sets these things up, how people, you know, do their finances is really up to them. As long as you guys don't get yourselves into trouble, it's great. But it is so easy to get yourself in trouble over this stuff. You know, to get yourself into a position that you just flat can't get yourself out of. And you know, a lot of these companies, these credit card companies, they don't care. You know, they're not gonna make deals with you. They're not gonna help you when you get yourself into trouble because you were expected to know what to do. Hey, Boone, what's up? Hey, Highway. Oops, I said with Boom again. It's like in bodybuilding. You don't want to overdo stuff. Feels like ba-boom catchphrase needs work. What do you think? Nah, it's fine as it is. I'm okay with that one. But if you put it that way, I'm not going to go changing it for no reason. Alright, Team Ba-boom for the win. Ba-boom. Okay, let's go take a look at Nooks. So for me, in a lot of cases, I'm very much looking at how much I have on my card. Because at the same time as I say, you know, don't put a ton of money on your card, the way you build your credit is by borrowing money and showing lenders that you can pay it back. That's always going to be this big thing. What are our turnip prices today? 67 bells per turnip. So my turnip prices have continued to go down. It is possible this could be an amazing thing down the line, but the further they go down, the more I'm worried that I'm not going to get good turnip prices. I'm going to have to very much hope that one of my friends gets a good price soon. Let's see. I still might have luck tomorrow, so I might be lucky tomorrow. We'll see. I'll be keeping an eye on my friends, and they'll tell me if they have a spike. It's possible that I might. You know, as I said, the real way to, you know, to earn credit is to borrow money and then pay back what you borrowed. It's just kind of the basis of earning credit. What you're doing is you're building a reputation amongst the lenders that you are a person who, when you borrow, you will pay back. You're building up a trust that, you know, they can trust you to pay it back. So they're more willing to lend money. Unfortunately, their rules do not always make as much sense as we would hope. I had that happen to me where, let's see, do we have any red toned wall, green delicate blooms wall, tiger print flooring, leopard print flooring, blue mosaic, mini dot. I don't really like any of those. We're just going to go ahead and give those a skip. You know, you end up having a situation like where I had bought a car in October of one year, or well, August of one year, sorry. In August of one year. And it was a car I could afford, so this wasn't a situation where I was out of my depth or anything like that. And I got a car loan, because that's just, you know, that's just how it had to happen. And that's pretty normal for a lot of people. My car was totaled less than 3 months later, while it was parked by a phenomenally bad driver. And, you know, I ended up having to get a new car. So I went to buy a new car and get a new loan. And unfortunately, because the lenders saw so many requests for a loan in such a short period of time, they suddenly decided that I was a bad credit risk. It had nothing to do with me, and it had nothing to do with what my credit risk was. It was just their automated computer saw that I was asking for, you know, a car loan immediately after a previous loan, and they went, oh god, you know, this guy must have defaulted or something like that. They weren't paying attention to me as a person. And, you know, that sucks. I ended up, my second loan actually ended up being at a higher interest rate than my first loan did. So I actually got punished because someone else destroyed my car. And that was in addition to the fact that I had to buy a new car, that I was upside down my previous loan because car values lower the second you get off the lot. For some reason, my gap coverage didn't kick in. So it was a really phenomenally bad situation that had nothing to do with me, but I got punished anyways. So I had to pay for it, but that kind of taught me to pay attention to these things and make sure that I kind of made better choices. It's definitely one of those, once burned, twice shy sort of deals. And what I mean by that is that, if you guys haven't heard that phrase before, is that, the first time you encounter a stove or fire or something like that, you don't necessarily realize that this is going to hurt you or that it's going to cause problems. But the very first time that fire or the stove burns you, you are suddenly significantly more careful every time from there on out that you encounter fire or a stove. And this is common. This is just kind of how we are as people. Tons of different dangers are not inherently built into our psyches because we've never seen those dangers before. It's not something that we would know. It's not an instinctual thing for us. The way something like a growl is, something like that makes you scared, or the way some people are afraid of night or darkness. It's not instinctual. We don't know those yet, so you have to learn them. Well, the same thing applies to kind of everything in life, including things like credit scores. So I kind of learned to work a little bit around that because my mom had to deal with bankruptcy. I didn't want to deal with that myself. I paid very close attention to my credit score, made sure I never borrowed more than I could afford, and also started looking into various things I could do to increase my actual credit. And there are tools available, things like, Credit Karma is the one I use because I find it particularly easy. But there are definitely tools out there that are available that will help you realize where your credit is now and also where your credit can get to, the actions that you must take to increase your credit score. I started paying attention to a lot of that, so I could try to, grow myself significantly higher than I might otherwise be able to. Apparently I already know Orange Hat. Okay. But it does mean making decisions and trying to figure out how I want to do things. There is advice out there that says do not put everyday minor expenditures on your credit card, because you'll quickly lose track of what you've put on your credit card. And generally what I use my credit card for is literally everything that I purchase. I'm not really paying attention to... it's not that I'm not paying attention. I put everything on my credit card. I don't use my debit card ever. Because I know, I'm planning ahead for how much money I'm spending. So I know I can afford it. And it allows me to build up both credit and also potentially build cashback opportunities and things of that nature. But if I'm paying interest on those purchases, which is what ended up happening because of this bonus issue that I talked about, I ended up paying interest on my purchases that I wasn't expecting to. I was expecting to pay it off within 30 days to have that no interest time frame that my credit card allows. So it kind of got me in a bad position where I was spending extra money when I was expecting to get extra money back. Finally getting things under control nowadays, thankfully, but it did take a while to actually get there. What's up, Broccolo? I got a thing for you. You seem like the type of person who would really appreciate a brine shrimp aquarium. It is really a brine shrimp aquarium. You stare at them long enough, your eyes feel funny. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, I got a star costume. Cool. I've got to see this. Oh, star as in, like, okay. I thought stars in astronomy. I thought I was going to walk around as a star. Do I hear the telltale sounds of a balloon? I do. I'm kind of come back down here for a second on that. I mean, I ended up having to, or I ended up not really having to, but made a point of spending a lot of time thinking about how I was going to spend money, what my financial plans were going to be. And as I get older and wiser, I make more and more choices that lend towards that, to try to make sure I have more money in my pocket at the end of the day. There's plenty of choices that I make that are not good, but I keep on looking for the ones that I can make that are. Got an exercise ball. I've gotten a lot of those. See, I haven't seen... I think the only person I haven't talked to yet is... I don't think I've talked to Peanut. I haven't talked to Bruce. Well, Bruce is in his house. Didn't see Peanut, though. We might have to keep an eye out for her. What's up, Bruce? I got a thing for you. I think a ventilation fan would work pretty well in here. What in the? Ventilation fan? Thanks. Just thinking I could use one of these doodads. I could see you redecorating my whole place based around this piece. Oh, okay. Well, I get money. Cool. Kind of a losing proposition for me, but, you know, as you do. Later, Bruce. So I think that's one of the reasons why I look at a lot of things a little bit differently when I'm making purchases. I'm more willing to get warranties and such, and it's just because I've had issues where I, you know, lost out money because something got broken and I had to replace it. So I'm more likely to buy a warranty than some folks are. So I'm kind of curious how what you guys do and how you plan, how you make decisions concerning things like, again, warranties, credit cards, taking loans. There's a lot of... We've got night vision goggles today. Cool. Okay, well, we're going to be looking at that. Let's go say hi to Sable. Oh, Nye, I was hoping you'd come by today. I made a new patterned fabric for you to try out in your custom furniture. Oh, thank you. It's so awesome she just continuously gives these to me. Started working on these during my breaks from shop stuff, but I got all excited and couldn't stop. That is so cool. It's got to be in here, right? No? I'm going to have to go look at these custom designs. What are we looking for today? Not so fast. If you want to buy something at this store, you go through me. Wow. It's sort of silly since I'm inside the shop all day, but sunny weather helps me work faster. Or maybe it's just that I'm making shorter sleeves. Good question. Okay, what do we get to purchase today? I actually have room in the house, so I get to purchase. Okay, so what do we got? We already have a quilted jacket. We already have a school jacket. We already have a silk floral shirt. A sweetheart tank and shirt. Okay. We already have those flashy slacks. I like it. Okay. I already have the combat helmet. We got a mesh cap, though. Oh, okay. Yep. Also, yes. Do I have geometric print socks? I'm pretty sure I do. And I already have the winkle pickers as well. And no, we're not going to wear those, thank you. Let's see, anything else I got to purchase? So yeah, I'm kind of curious, Chris, what you guys do, because it's always, I think it's always good to share knowledge like this, especially if it's stuff that you would have had to learn on your own. You know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I might learn that you might not. Okay, that was a choice that I made. There's a lot of stuff that I might learn through my life, just the things that I do, the people that I interact with. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, and that's the acorn knit cap. Okay. Neat. Pretty sure we already have most of those. There's a lot of things that I've done that have given me little bits of experience, little bits of knowledge, and I can try to share them with you guys just by, you know, directly talking to you about these things. But there's also things that you're gonna see that I'm not, that I haven't. And well, I will say that it is very much a skill to learn, based off of what people tell you, as opposed to learning yourselves. Especially with life lessons. Like, people can tell you a life lesson they've learned all the time. But unless you yourself are willing to learn off of what another person has done, how they're, you know, how they tell you things. And again, it's a skill. It's not, you can't just hear me say something and take it to heart. It's something that you have to actually learn how to do. But hopefully with enough people sharing these you know, these life lessons, these bits of knowledge that they have learned over time, it might be able to help people, even if they don't really take it to heart and make actions based off of these stories. It's something they might be able to recall at a time when they're about to make a decision and go, you know what, I remember someone else said something about this. Maybe I should think a little bit deeper about what I'm about to do. Or, you know, maybe they'll sit there and after something happens, go, you know what, I do remember someone saying they went through this as well. Maybe that will help me make more decisions myself. And that's what I have to hope for. You know, what I have to hope for is that by talking about a lot of the stuff that I talk about over the course of a lot of these, you know, episodes, it's stuff that makes you guys think, or it help. Holy crap, we're actually using a lot today. I have to really hope these are things that, you know, you guys take to heart, that help you at the end of the day. Maybe just giving you something to think about, maybe advice that you can use down the line. You know, one of the, you know, oh, hey, there she is. What's up, Peanut? So you like fossils? I totes understand. Dead things in rocks are pretty fab. Do you want a thing? I'm giving you a thing, yes. Let's see. Let's give you a gym tea. Oh my gosh, this is a gym tea. I'm gonna try it on. Tre pronto. Nice. I love it. The colors are, let's say they're perfect, because they are. Awesome. It's kind of cool to see the villagers coming in here and looking at this stuff. God, we still have so many exhibits we haven't done yet. There's 8 one-offs we're looking for in the first place. Like, that's a lot of one-offs to look for. Looks like the giant turtle's still being worked on. Does that thing have its right wing up there? Okay, we're missing the right wing for the Pteranodon. Okay. Stego is missing a piece. We're missing a piece for the... whatever that was. I skipped the name too fast. So we're still missing pieces. It's getting nice and filled in, though. One of the big reasons I like to do these episodes is, you know, I like to give you guys a smile or something like that, or make you... or give you entertainment, something like that. But also helping you guys think is always going to be an amazing thing. You know, helping you guys realize a little bit something about yourself, or give you something that will help you down the line with a little bit of knowledge that you might not have had before, or just a little bit of a spark of inspiration for just a decision. Any of those, just kind of reaching out and kind of touching your guys' lives from where I am, is kind of one of the big reasons that I like to do this sort of thing. I've always said that I do this channel just because it's pushing me to get through games. That's one of the big reasons why I do it the way I do. You know, I don't reach out. I don't advertise things like that. It's mostly just to interact with people who happen to find me and stick around. And there's been plenty of you guys, and some of you guys have even reached out and said, "Hey, I've been watching for a while," or some guys have, you know, talked to me directly about something you have done. But it's really more of a personal thing and an interpersonal thing. It's not really for anything else. So being able to talk about some of the stuff is generally awesome for me. And then hearing from you guys afterwards is also a very cool thing. So as always, off to the audience participation things, do let me know how you guys handle money. I'm very curious. It might help me in the future. It might help other people who watch these videos in the future. You know, people do go through the archives from time to time. So do let me know. I am very curious how you guys do that. What your plans are, how you do things like that. How do you make purchases? How do you plan purchases? You know, what do you do to make sure that you're not overspending? All of that is very useful information for basically anybody who's you know, making purchases in the future. Just kind of let me know on that. I think that's about all we talked about today. So with that, I will let you guys go. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.